I'm gonna start promoting them on my channel.
Nice.
So I'm like a huge fan of this business. So
Congrats,
Is it Rubet?
no,
I'm kidding.
I was like, what?
Is this
Kidding.
thing?
No, although if they want to pay me Drake money,
Yeah.
I'm willing to do a lot of things for 100 million.
I'm willing to do a lot of things for 100 million.
You either die a hero or live long enough to become a villain. Is this the end of the fake guru killer?
A lot of finger pointing is happening right now as FTX crumbles, and we need to find out who to blame. Since I am the influencer who created T-Rex Inu in order to scam someone, I am the most qualified person to speak on the subject. The finance YouTubers who promoted FTX are under fire right now. They were paid money to promote a company that ultimately went bankrupt and caused customers to lose money. A lot of videos are attacking them. Are they to blame? There is one bad actor here. Sam Bankman-Fried is essentially a degenerate gambler who got greedy and lost. Everyone involved is now taking the blame for one man's actions. FTX had signed a 19-year deal with the Miami basketball arena for $135 million. It was set to be called FTX Arena until 2040. That deal went up in flames. During last year's regular season, the Miami Heat had an attendance of over 800,000 people. In 2022's Eastern Conference Finals, the Boston Celtics beat the Miami Heat in a close Game 7. The game averaged nearly 10 million people watching, with an estimated peak of over 12 million. In case some of you don't watch sports and aren't sure why I mentioned ratings, what do you notice about this image? Between the live audience, people who watched highlights on YouTube, and anyone unaccounted for, we're talking 15 million people being advertised FTX in one night. Major League Baseball has signed a long-term partnership with FTX, making the first time that a North American pro sports league has partnered with a cryptocurrency exchange. The global partnership makes FTX the official crypto exchange brand of MLB. MLB umpires had an FTX patch on their uniforms during games. How many people do you think received an advertisement from FTX while watching MLB games? 5 million, 10 million, 20 million? TSM Esports signs $210 million sponsorship with FTX Crypto Exchange. TSM Esports has a global audience. They were getting $21 million per year for the next 10 years to be sponsored by FTX and advertised to their massive audience around the world. F1 Team Mercedes signed a multi-year sponsorship deal with FTX in September 2021. Yet another organization that had a massive worldwide audience sponsored by FTX. The first argument I'm presenting is that FTX had global sponsors with audiences exponentially larger than anyone sponsored on YouTube.
The thing is, though, when you see Tom Brady or any of these athletes or actors promoting a certain product or service, you don't necessarily believe, especially if it's, let's say, finance related, right? You're probably not going to Tom Brady for financial advice. You know, for the most part, he has financial advisors who guide him on how to invest and spend his money.
I got the advice from a madman.
It's not all coming from just him and his own personal brain. But when you position yourself as an authority figure in the finance space, example, Stephan, Tom Nash, Meet Kevin, and a lot of these other financial YouTubers who will basically tell you how to best invest your money. You know, these videos titled, make money from the 2023 recession, make money from the stock market collapse, blah, 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 blah. They're giving you financial advice, and you'd hope, right, they do their due diligence on said product or service, cryptocurrency, to help you as the consumer make more money and be more financially independent. So it's not the same. Tom Brady giving you advice and Stephan giving you advice. You know, Tom Brady's field of expertise is in football, not money. Graham is positioning himself as an expert in football. If Tom Brady was giving you football advice, now we're talking. You know what I'm saying? Now we're talking. Strike one.
From my perspective, if you're looking to place blame and you're a logical and reasonable adult and use a weighted scale, then finance YouTubers should receive such an insignificant amount that it's not even statistically important. Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen were featured in this FTX ad as sponsors. Stephen Curry was also an official FTX sponsor as seen in this ad. This FTX ad featuring Larry David has been seen 46 million times. Tom Brady and Stephen Curry are scamming people. Do you understand how much bigger the reach and how much more influence these celebrities have than finance YouTubers?
We have the tapes. We have the information.
Now, before we get to part 2, I have to give a quick shout out for today's sponsor. It's FTX US. You've probably heard of them before. They're very popular as a very large crypto exchange. They have millions of users on it trading crypto. That's not my thing. I don't know how to do analysis on these things. I think they're speculative and very volatile. It's just not for me.
One of the largest US regulated cryptocurrency exchanges in the world, trusted by millions of users to buy, sell, track, and trade both crypto and NFTs.
They've been the ones that are going out, investing in and buying other crypto exchanges that are struggling. So they've been growing very quickly. They bought a chunk of Robinhood. They bought a chunk of BlockFi.
I have to decide if I want to do more, but know that if I'm doing more, it's just a cash grab. Because I got 10 days to make these videos. But hey, I'm going to be transparent about it. Hey, it's a lot of money. It's like, a couple $1,000 a video. And for 30 seconds, read, whatever.
I love the game of money
in climbing that wealth pyramid and things like that. I think it's fun.
And this is a red flag that everybody should be paying attention to. I'll explain in just a moment, right after I mention that if you want to take advantage of buying the crypto dip, check out our sponsor today, FTX. To learn more all about the FTX trading platform and their trading apps.
I'm not trying to tell you who to blame. I'm just presenting the argument that if you were someone who's blaming influencers, then those who are reaching 50 to 100 million people probably are a little more at fault than someone with a fraction of the audience size.
But at the end of the day, it is your fault. It is your fault for believing XYZ YouTuber has your best interest at heart. Like, it's a parasocial relationship. Again, like for myself, right? I don't know everybody that watches my videos. You're just another number. No matter how nice you seem, I or anybody else seems on camera, you are just another number in terms of the view count, the revenue that you gave them for that, the $5, $10 per 1,000 views. Bruh. When anything that you put your money into, when from a YouTuber online who's or some random person online who's giving you financial advice, let that be play money.
If I no laugh, I go cry. So it's better I laugh, even if I have to force it.
Okay, at the end of the day, let that be your play money. Money that you don't care if you lose. That should be your rule of thumb.
I actually think it's worse than that. I talked to a lot of these guys, and they were fooled. That's the scariest part. So many of these experts who are giving you guys advice totally bought into this Sam character as this genius billionaire, right?
I think Coffeezilla makes an argument that many in the comment section do, which is finance YouTubers are supposed to be finance experts and they're giving financial advice and they should know better is essentially the argument. Investors who put $2 billion into FTX face scrutiny too. Venture capital firms and investment funds showered the failed crypto exchange and its founder with money. Forbes estimates Sequoia Capital invested $200 million. Paradigm, a fund focused on crypto and Web3 tech, invested an estimated $215 million. You have some of the smartest investors in the world investing $200 million into FTX, and somehow finance YouTubers should have known it was a scam? That doesn't really add up. I'm sorry, Coffeezilla, but that's not an argument that holds any weight. Forbes provided a list of institutional investors who gave money to Bankrupt Boy. BlackRock was an investor in FTX. I'm fairly confident that they did more due diligence than anyone and couldn't predict the behavior of one individual. Forbes lists FTX as having 24 different top-notch auditors and financial firms providing services to ensure compliance in a well-run organization. The point I'm making is that if you're someone who is placing the blame on finance YouTubers, then you're stating that they should have known it was a scam, even though hundreds of people had full access to the company and didn't know what was to come.
I think it exposes a big gaping flaw in this influencer world where it's not just the greed, it's just this systemic failure of people to recognize their own lack of expertise.
I strongly disagree with Coffeezilla here because some of the smartest minds in the world were fooled by Sam because you can't predict what Sam pulled on everyone. Gary Gensler is the sheriff of Wall Street, so why couldn't he rein in Sam Bankman-Fried?
Sam Bankman-Fried, it appears from your calendar, on March 29th, 2022 at 4 p.m. came in and actually met with you.
In an ideal world, the SEC head would have spidey senses for fraudsters. Maybe he was complicit somehow too. And how are we all supposed to know? Even BitBoy Crypto acknowledges that someone being sponsored by FTX isn't the bad guy and that no one knew what was going on. Just in, FTX Telegram admins released statements saying the exchange has been hacked. What we witnessed is one person committing some of the worst financial crimes of our time. SBF deserves to be in jail for defrauding millions of investors and customers and causing absolute financial mayhem. Look, I'm not here to tell you how to think or what to believe. I've just seen so much hate thrown towards finance YouTubers as if they were the problem. This is a situation where one bad actor...
Now, many of y'all may not know, but Spencer Cornelia is a part of an agency. Some other YouTuber, I think maybe Chris Nolan or whatever, put me onto this. So, I will say Spencer is not completely non-biased in terms of his protecting of some of these other finance YouTubers. And I'll show the evidence right here.
For most financial YouTubers, because people always ask me, Chris, who do you like? And to be very frank, I don't like most of them, if not all of them. But I want to give an opinion on this. So Coffeezilla guy, he basically came out and said, hey, everyone, Millennial Money, your Meet Kevin, Graham Stephan, Andrei Jikh, Financial Jeremy, they're all responsible for this FTX debacle, and they're a bunch of morons.
These guys, they were fooled. That's the scariest part. So many of these experts who are giving you guys advice totally bought into this Sam character as this genius billionaire, right? The most generous billionaire in the world, who also happened to be paying them handsomely, of course. And I just think it shows how bad the discernment is out there making videos on how to invest. It's alarming how many people fell for this guy's ruse. And it's alarming how easy it was to convince them. Like, some of these guys believed in Sam because he drives a beat-up car.
Sam doesn't need the money to buy a Lamborghini or to buy a Rolex or to impress his friends. In fact, his car is a Toyota Corolla.
You trust the guy more when you see the car he drives. He's worth like $20 billion or something, and he drives like this kind. I don't want to call it beat up. It's like it's an older Toyota. He doesn't even have window tints on a completely stock Toyota.
What does that have to do with anything? What does window tint have to do with Sam's qualifications as an investor? I mean, look, it's now coming out, guys, that at Alameda Research, they were just kind of embarrassingly incompetent. And the evidence was always there, but nobody who was selling FTX bothered to take notice. Apparently, they were too busy looking at the window tint. Here's the CEO of Alameda, for example, saying she hardly uses math at her job.
Yeah, absolutely could pull it off without my math degree. Use very little math. Use a lot of like elementary school math.
It's just beyond belief. Like, I don't want to pretend like I'm some Nostradamus who saw all this coming and nobody else did, right? I did call out FTX 24 hours before it shut down. I did call FTX US out well before, like 72 hours before it shut down. But I wasn't here with my crystal ball forecasting all of this years in advance. But that's the reason I didn't promote this. You know, I get the same offers as everyone else, but there's no way I'm going to risk my audience, you guys, in a game of crypto among us. Like, will this guy turn out to be a psycho in a year or two? Let's find out. No, I'm not going to do that. And it's not because I'm better than anyone. It's just because I know that even though I know a little bit about crypto, I don't know enough to know for sure whether these companies are going to be around. Because there's just no way you know. And so I think it exposes a big gaping flaw in this influencer world where it's not just the greed, it's just this systemic failure of people to recognize their own lack of expertise. And it's so easy for charismatic geniuses to convince these people based on basically no evidence. Take, for instance, meet Kevin's seal of approval.
The guy's brilliant. He talks very fast, but he's brilliant, and I trust him and I like him.
Yeah.
Really? You know, I talk really fast. My brilliance is definitely up for debate, but do you trust me with all your money? Because you shouldn't. So it's just abysmal. And now that this has all come out, some of these guys are now coming out and apologizing, as they should. But is it enough? Because people like Stephan now has made a video about it. Basically, he said 24 hours before FTX US went bust, like, hey, maybe you should get your money off.
FTX US has been a sponsor here on the channel for the majority of the year. This one I did not see coming. I think it's pretty safe to say as a result of that, I'm no longer working with them. So if you hold anything on FTX US, you could still take it out and transfer it to an external wallet or wherever else you please.
But how many people saw this compared to almost a year of ads? Or take Tom Nash, someone who's appeared on this channel. You know, he took a different approach and basically said no one signed up under him.
I think that you all deserve me to talk about FTX. I was working with them a few months ago for about 30 days. Somehow, during this whole month we were running the campaign, literally nobody signed up for FTX US. They called me and I was insulted in the beginning. And they said, look, Tom, we got to cut it short because we had like a 3-month plan to work together. And they said, look, we're stopping after 1 month because nobody's signing up from your channel.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy that. At minimum, these are bad arguments. Like, no one signed up for me, or hey, I gave you 24 hours notice. Like, it's just such an embarrassing standard for this industry, if you can even call it that, because it's just a bunch of basically random people giving their opinion about finance. And truthfully, I just think it's a big lesson, another lesson, the millionth lesson, that you shouldn't be actually taking real advice from the people who you watch on these screens. They're entertainers, and they don't know much more than you about what they're actually selling.
Now, what's interesting is Spencer Cornelia guy, he came out and basically defended and said, no. My friends are nice guys. My friends, are okay. And lots of people got fooled. And this is essentially the messaging of their agency. The only person you should blame is Sam Bankman-Fried. That's essentially the argument that they're making. And I just want to point out a couple things. So one is, you guys already know I don't like these people as it is, right? So you already know my opinion on that. So I'm clearly on the side of Coffeezilla in this. And there's another thing too, which is extremely important. Actually, a couple things which I'll bring up. One is, yes, you can make the case that Steph Curry was with FTX, but the dude's a basketball player and he's a celebrity, and he doesn't pretend to have any financial wisdom whatsoever. The whole sort of thing with, we'll just use example of Stephan, is that he's like, hey guys, I'm so good with money, etc. Follow me. And he gave his financial, essentially, endorsement of FTX. This is the big difference there. If Stephan says, hey guys, you should buy these shoes and not those shoes, okay, I get it. But I'm not gonna listen to Steph Curry on FTX. And this is sort of the stupid and crazy thing about crypto and NFTs. It got way out of hand, and I was calling BS a long time ago. And this is sort of like, guys, you can check my videos, because the other argument that Spencer's gonna make is like, no one knew that FTX was bad. Nobody knew. I knew. I have the proof right there. I made several videos about it. I made several videos about Spencer's friends, right? Graham, me, Kevin, Minority Mindset, all these things. And do be aware that Spencer works at the same agency, creators agency, as all his friends, right? There's Graham, there's Andrei, there's me, Kevin, there's Spencer. I'm sure they're going to change the website after seeing these videos over and over and over again, right? They're getting so irritated by it, but it's already out now, so they can't really change it. We all see them there. But they all work together. Video about their agency. Spencer and a couple of the content creators that work for the agency came on my channel, right in the comments, oh Chris, you're so dumb, our agency's so good, we're awesome. Okay, I mean, you can say that, and it was obviously coordinated.
So as you can see, they are a part of the same agency, so one could come to the conclusion that, maybe the agency head or whatever told Spencer, as the antithesis to the fake gurus, to make a video in defense of the other content creators in the agency, so as to lessen the reputation hit that they would get. So I'm just put that out there. You know, they're all part of the same agency. And at the end of the day, no one cares about you like you do. That's it.
Has caused billions of dollars of harm and no one knew. Influencers are not the problem. I consider Coffeezilla a good friend, and I spoke to him on the phone for about an hour about this topic, but I strongly disagree with his video, and I don't think it was fair to influence people into thinking finance YouTubers were the problem. What's funny is I was actually chatting with Tom Nash the night he received the offer to promote FTX, and I told him he should partner with them.
What's funny is that other people that apologize more or less had the same type of apology format. Minority Mindset, Tom Nash, Stephan, and all the people that actually apologized, me, Kevin, and shit like that, y'all basically said the same shit.
I think that you all deserve me to talk about FTX and what's going on because
There's been a lot of craziness around crypto and FTX particularly, so I wanted to make this quick video. It's completely raw, it's unscripted. So
I've been waiting to talk about this since the situation seems to be changing every few minutes, but as some of you may have seen, FTX US has been a sponsor here on the channel for the majority of the year.
Number one, I was working solely with FTX US.
So I began working with FTX US earlier in 2022, and by the time I began working with FTX US, FTX.com, which is the international division, had already spun off, and you have these two companies.
Their international counterpart, however, FTX.com, has recently faced liquidity issues, disabled withdrawals, and because of one-to-one, and they're operating normally. In fact, you're still able to buy, sell, and withdraw as usual.
Still buy and sell crypto, you can still pull your crypto out, and so the platform is still working.
FTX US was the only company I work with, and they're 100% operational. You can buy, you can sell crypto, you can pull your money out, you can put your money in.
And so my big concern is what happens when things go wrong, and I was reassured multiple times and have writings of this, that FTX US is well capitalized.
And they gave me a lot of assurances to know that the money people will put on that platform will be 100% safe.
As much as I trusted the information that I was given, I was wrong, and I'm sorry. I trusted them, but in the end, their parent company was not forthcoming with all of the risks, this being one of them.
You don't want to risk spillover or bleed over from the FTX.com company into the US subsidiary.
I'd rather be overly cautious and remind people to move their money off of the exchange, especially during a time where everything is still functioning.
I think going forward, I can assure you that I will make sure to be extra careful so that nothing like this ever happens again.
You bet that me and my team are going to be even stricter than we are already. And second, we're going to be working to make sure that all of you who trusted us and who trust us are okay and taken care of, because I want to make sure that this is right.
Everybody who watches the channel means the world to me, and I would not be here without you. So thank you so much for hearing this out, and I really hope this is all for nothing.
And hopefully you guys can put your trust in me to do the best job I can on your behalf.
And what do you find? They're all part of the same agency. So keep that in mind. I will leave y'all with one more thing. I saw this interview between Spencer Cornelia and Stephan on the Iced Coffee show, right? And sometimes the evidence is always right in the plain sight, in plain view. It's always in plain view.
Grant, would you ever take a steak sponsorship?
Oh man, someone asked me this
What's
before.
your price?
I feel like everyone has a price.
100 million a year?
I don't know, because it has to be a point where it's so high that I would be irresponsible for saying no to it.
100 million a year? I don't know, because it has to be a point where it's so high that I would be irresponsible for saying no to it.
And if you completed the sponsorship, let's say a year later, and your audience turned on you, would you be comfortable with the money and the pushback?
Part of me
if all
feels
4
like,
million DM'd you on Instagram and said, we hate you because of this.
I don't know, because I feel like part of my audience understands the financial aspect of it, and I feel like they would be like, yo, Graham, you're an idiot if you say no to this. Like, we get it. I'm hoping that would be the response. But the thing is, too, it's like, I don't have anything against gambling. I mean, I don't have any qualms against it. I find it fun, you know, 100.
It's also weird how
every now and then, yeah.
How we can box ourselves in and the audience will treat you differently. Like if I promoted gambling, my YouTube game is over. It's over. So it would have to be enough money.
But you
where
know what? The thing for me is like, I see it as a recreational fun thing that you could do with friends. Like I've never been to the casino like alone to gamble. It's always something like if you're out with the buds, it's like, hey, let's go play blackjack for a little
100%.
bit. Like,
by the way,
fun.
I'm not anti-gambling in any way. I'm anti people who say you can win at gambling and they promote, oh, you can win at gambling if you use my code. I'm against that because you're promoting something falsely, and then you're potentially putting people in a position where they get addicted.
Okay, the guy you see next to me is the most generous billionaire in the world, and I found him.
the most generous billionaire ever, where you can get 10% off on your trading fees.
These are bad. These are very bad. But FTX, there are no fees whatsoever. And if you sign up with our link, signing up using my link, there are referral links. If you use my link below and the code name Tom.
But haven't you gotten an offer for a crypto coin or NFT that was financially irresponsible to say no to?
No, because I think just the damage to the brand would be so much more than I would ever receive from that. Because I view just like what my next 10 years could look like, and there's nothing that like it would if they offered. Well, even then, like I'm like even if they offered $100 million to promote some bull crap NFT, I wouldn't take it because then that's everything. You lose everything from doing that.
Your reputation too, which me and you care about.
Talk about how we can find out and how much we can find out and what it takes to get there. So first we have to decide how much do we want to find out. So let's say in this case, I want to find out at a level of 7. Okay, so I find that level on my graph and I come horizontally to my gradient line. Where it intersects with my gradient line, I'm going to come straight down to where it intersects with my fuck around line. That there is going to tell me how much I have to fuck around to find out what I need to find out. See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. And also, if you stay down here and you never fuck around, you'll never find out. So I hope this lesson is helpful. Thank you.
I don't think money is a driving factor in your life now, where the number doesn't. It could be $1 billion. I still don't think you take it.
At least it's like with a casino like that. You know, I feel like to an extent, you know what you're getting into. An NFT that makes promises that aren't there, that I could see as a scam. But like a casino, it's like you know it's a casino. Like I feel like it's more upfront about the risks and the fact that you're not going to make money statistically, and that if you do, it's luck.
All of the influencers who promoted FTX. So if you want to get mad at finance YouTubers, you're more than welcome to be mad at me too. Since it was such an obvious scam, apparently, then I'm an idiot too. The result of what happened in Sam's behavior is not what influencers were promoting. If you use a weighted scale, the percent of blame should be as follows: 100% on Sam Bankman-Fried and 0% on others. Keep in mind that everyone involved here has experienced damages.
Bruh. You're showing me how unserious you are.
100% on him and nothing on anybody. Bro, come on now. Spencer. Come on, Spencer. Stop simping for the boy them. Stop simping for the man them. Your man them. Stop simping for them. 100% on him and nothing on the... Bro, come on now. Is this the end of the fake guru killer? But yo, real talk though. Again, any advice, any make money advice from YouTubers, content creators online, have it be play money and call it a day.
I want you closer. Every day me I be calling, babe. Wanna tell you that I'm sorry, babe. Make you come and make you go today. I still love you and you know it, babe. Every day me I be calling, babe. Wanna tell you that I'm sorry, babe. Make you come and make you go today. I still love you, babe. One lie, baby, our love is a sweet game. If I lose you, I go die.